of white supremacy. So I want to get really deep today. And I want to talk about your destiny. Yeah. This one is something about social media. And when you talk about like real shit, like the real shit, like the shit that really can like change people's lives and perspectives, it doesn't get a lot of pushing out sometimes. So hopefully, if you find this, you're meant to find this and it works for you. At this point, I'm just gonna let God take over and say what needs to be said. You control your own destiny. So, yes, there are things that you're born into, you're predispositioned to, meaning that you had no choice but to be born into. You had no choice in the family. So, I talked about this. So, you had no conscious, if you had no conscious choice in the family that you were born into. You had no control if that family had money or not, where that family lived. You had no control over what you were born into. You had no control. So that is what we call uncontrollable destiny, right? There's some things that are uncontrollable, but I think about 80%, maybe even 90% of everything surrounding us, we can control. And if you found this, you probably, or if you're on this channel, you might already know. So make sure you share this, you like this, you comment with a heart if you got this far, because you feel like you know exactly where I'm about to go with this conversation. But you control a lot. But I'm gonna say something, tell you what you can't control. Most of the time, what's wrong with you is shaped by other people. And what's difficult about dealing with people is you can't control other people. You have no idea when somebody new comes into your life, when you first meet them, you don't know that they're going to betray you if they betray you. And you don't know, even if you know it's a chance, maybe you are somebody who's gotten betrayed before. You try to reserve yourself, but you have hope. You take the chance. You still had no control over them betraying you. Even if we entertain the red flags that we see and we just ignore and continue to deal with this person, there's always going to be that voice that tells you, what if, yeah, this is a red flag, but what if this is just that one time? Or what if it's really not? You start second guessing your red flags. What if it's really not that big of a deal? Right? It's always that voice. And we have to understand, if we say things like God makes no mistakes, that means that even your mistakes are not mistakes. They were meant to be made, right? Right? Or or are they? That's the conundrum. That's why I say we're gonna get deep. It's very deep. It's very deep, right? It's very deep because you can't really answer the question, no matter how you look at it. It's, does the belief that God makes no mistakes mean that everything that happened is meant to happen, that means that even my mistakes are not mistakes. Huh? Does that open you up a little bit to feel better about making mistakes? Because we should be able to make mistakes. Now, we have to understand what mistakes are because some things people call mistakes, they're not mistakes. They are acts of sometimes evil, but they are acts of, I don't know, defiance, or you know that is bad, but you do it anyway. That's defiance. That's not a mistake. And I'm just laughing. It makes me laugh when people use the term mistake. Okay, this is this movie, is documentary on Netflix. It's called Catfish something. Excuse me, I gotta take a drink of water. But it's called Catfish something, right? And I'm sorry, spoiler alert. I'm gonna ruin the end of the movie for you. So if you want to go watch it first, well, I think it's a documentary. It might not be a movie. But if you want to go watch it first, click off now because I'm about to ruin it. The mother was the one acting like a stranger, sending very disgusting messages to her own daughter, pretending to be someone else. I'm not gonna go into details about what she said. That's where I'm gonna leave it out. I'm not gonna completely ruin it for you. Go see, but it's crazy. And she said, "Oh, I just made a mistake." When they found out, she got convicted. She went to jail. Um, when they found out, she said it was a mistake. It's not a fucking mistake. It is not a mistake. It's not a mistake to cheat on your partner. It's not a mistake. It's not a mistake to send your own daughter dirty text messages. It's not a mistake to it's not a mistake to R word someone. It's not a mistake. It's not a mistake. These are not mistakes. These are acts of defiance, acts of evil, if you will. Some of them. I'm not gonna say cheating is evil. I can't. That's a little too far for me. Can be, depending on how you do it and who you're doing it with. But I can't say that. I'm just gonna say acts of defiance, and to some extent, some of these things are evil. We can't call them mistakes, right? So this is why we gotta define what a mistake is and understand. There's gonna be moments where you can fully own that you knew better, but you just did it anyway, and that's an act of defiance. These people know better. A serial killer knows better than to kill. They just do it anyway. It's an act of defiance. Okay. Okay. There's levels to it, of course, but you know where I'm going with this. So you control, right? A lot. You control a lot. And we have to understand when we control a lot, how powerful we are. Okay. And a lot of your power is going to come from accountability. It's really crazy how when you look at accountability, when you look at your destiny, when you look at how you can manifest things, right? Accountability is basically about the past. Destiny is about really the here and the now, what you were born into. Kind of the same thing, but it's not, it's kind of the past, but even more so just related into the here and now, right? Because sure, it can be your past where what happened, but it's your destiny is also what is to happen and what is happening now. It's just the here and the now and the future. Here, the now, and the future, right? And then manifesting is also about the future. So you got accountability about the past. Destiny really is about the past and the future. And then you got manifesting. So all of these things are linked because when you learn to take accountability, it's something about learning to take accountability about when I say the bad shit in your life, I mean like the traumatic shit, the deep, dark shit, even the shit that happened with your parents. You are a child, you're innocent. There's still some accountability to be had. You can find a way to find accountability in every situation. And that is the point of shadow work. Shadow work is accountability. It is, okay, I need to know, right? I need to go back and dig up my past and see what happened. Assign accountability to whoever needs to be assigned to about whatever the trauma is, whatever the situation is, whatever the hurt, the pain is, whatever. Assign that accountability, but don't leave yourself out. It could just sometimes it can be I don't have any real accountability to take in the situation. There are very rare occasions where you just don't have accountability to take in the situation, right? And then there are situations where you can. You could. Not saying that what you did was wrong, because blame and accountability are not the same thing. Because saying what you did was wrong is blame. But accountability is taking an objective standpoint about what happened and the part you played in it, even if it's just being there, even if it's just your presence. I was just there. That's all I can say. I had no choice in the matter. I was just there. That's accountability. You might not see it as that, but it is. It's like accountability coach, I'm telling you that is. And then even you can understand how powerful even just your presence is. You feel me? It's deep. It's deep. It's very psychological. It's very subconscious. Everything is very, very, everything is everything can be deep, right? Everything can be interlinked. It's just about how analytical your mind goes, right? Sorry, I'm neurodivergent, so I can see things way differently than most people do. And I can link things. I'm a pattern person. I can see patterns. I can link things together. I can see things. I can analyze them, right? That's the purpose of what I do as a psychologist, as a accountability coach. Is I can see where you need to take ownership. And once you take that ownership, once you get that power, because accountability is about power, understanding your power, understanding your worth, understanding again what I just said, how powerful even just your presence is, even just your presence. Just because you were there, yes, let's look at this let's reframe something, right? Let's reframe a traumatic event you have that you feel like you don't have to take any accountability for. And it's fine. Like I said, there will be situations where you don't have to take accountability for, especially like if it comes to your parents. You don't have to take accountability for your parents. Your parents being fucked up is not your accountability to take. You were just their child. It was just you being their child. You had to deal with that shit. Whatever that shit was, you had to deal with it. Even if you had good parents, your parents gonna fuck you up in just a little bit, right? Sometimes they just gonna do that because people fuck up other people. What is wrong with you? I think I already said it, but what's wrong with you? 90% of what's wrong with you, and if I didn't say it, I'm saying now. I would say about 90% up to 90% of what's wrong with you is due to other people, right? But if it's not fixed, it's your fault. Now, this is where blame comes in. It is your fault. If you go unfixed, it is your fault. That's your accountability seal, though. Feel me? All right. So I don't even know. I kind of got off track a little bit, but it's all, like I said, it's all linked, right? And how you control your destiny. So if I learn how powerful my presence is in a moment with my parents, okay, there we go. Mind getting back. If I understand how powerful my presence is just by itself, even if it's no accountability, that means that I can dictate where I am, and I can understand that it's important that I'm intentionable. Not intentionable. That's not even a word. Jesus, why my mouth say that? I like that though. I like that word and wish it was a word. But if I'm more intentional about where I am, do you see where I'm going? It's about, just like I said, just understanding your power, your worth. It's about that. That's what accountability is. Your destiny, again, it's the here and now, the past and the future. That's destiny meets the past and the future. You control that. You can. Because if you learn from the past, right, in your present moment, if you learn from the past, your future could be whatever you want it to be. But if you stay stuck in the past, right, you can't free your mind and your heart from old events. If you stay stuck there, your destiny is going to be up to the past. I told y'all, I'm just letting the Lord take over. I ain't even, listen, I ain't never said that before. And for some reason, that just unlocked some shit in me. So I'm gonna say it one more time. When you allow yourself to be stuck in the past, like presently, you are still stuck in the past. It's something you can't let go of, something you can't forgive, somebody you can't forgive, right? But it's to a certain extent where it's controlling certain parts of who you are and what you want. You're going to allow your future to be dictated by the past. You want your destiny, you want your future to be dictated by you. You want it to be dictated by you under your control. When you give your control over to the past, it's all you're gonna do again is reaffirm the same shit. And a lot of people get stuck in that time loop. I call it a time loop. Some people are still stuck at the age in which they experienced the hardest trauma of their life. So when you meet an adult person and they have the emotional maturity of a 16-year-old, of a 20-year-old, somebody much younger than who they are, it's because they've been traumatized. They're stunted. They stuck in that age where they've been fucked the most fucked up at. They stuck there. So yes, they might be highly irregular in their behavior. One day they cool, the next they really snappy and shit. You know what I'm saying? And I get some people are like that because they just like that, because we human. But some people is, you know what I'm talking about. It's just an extreme and you just like, what the fuck is wrong with you? Right? Those are people I'm talking about. Easy to react to everything. Just always want to react about shit. Can't take the calm route no matter what. They can't control themselves. They're stunted emotionally. And most of the time, again, because they are stuck in the age in which they experience the most trauma. They can't get past it. They have not taken accountability. They are going, and these are the perpetual victims. It's either you're a victim or you're accountable. It's either you're a victim or you're accountable. You can't be both. And I know it's fucked up to say because it's like, well, damn, I was a victim. Yes, you were victimized, right? Let's change the reframe it because a victim means that's your title. You own that. Do you really want to be a victim? Because again, it's about reaffirming the past. Do we want to reaffirm the past or do we want to break free? So you're not a victim. You were victimized. Someone did something bad to you. Not a victim. Okay. So you don't want to take on the mindset of the victim. You want to be accountable. You want to say, hey, I was just at the wrong place in the wrong time. That's your accountability. That means I don't have no fault because I got to be somewhere. But I understand my presence played a part in my own pain, just my presence itself. As fucked up as that sounds, it's true. And it might hurt y'all. It might hurt to even say it out loud because it is painful. But it's a breakthrough. And that's why it hurts. Because it's like, oh shit, you know what? I'm not blaming anybody, but somehow I still own what happened. I feel like I'm gonna get somebody with this. I don't know who it is. If you watch this part and it did something for you, please drop a comment. Cause a lot of times, sometimes this just does a lot for me, but I know it's gonna do something for somebody else. Just because it does something for me. So manifesting and how it relates to accountability. Again, that power you get when you become accountable, understanding the power of your presence, understanding the power of I allowed something to happen to me, right? This is when we get to the real deep part of accountability, not something that you can't take any accountability for besides your presence, is when you have actions, when you ignore the red flags, when you painted pictures that were not there. This is when you get accountable. And a lot of times it is in our love life, but sometimes it can even be with your parents when like I said, because a lot of people, when it comes to their parents, they blame themselves for having bad parents. How do you blame yourself for having bad parents? You did not consciously choose these parents. You didn't know, again, consciously. And that's why the reason I'm saying consciously is because I believe that our soul chose these lives, these vessels, and we knew what we were going to be born into. Our souls did. But consciously, we would have never chose this, right? A lot of us would have chose something easier. But sometimes if you would have chose that easier life, you wouldn't have been who you were. You know what I'm saying? There is no mistakes. Even the mistakes are not mistakes. They were all meant to happen. So when you understand that power, when you become accountable, when you can see, you can start to analyze how everything is linked. How, oh, I made that decision because I was looking for love in the wrong place. And because I didn't have a father figure, or because I never saw a healthy representation of a relationship, I found myself in a toxic relationship. Accountable. Don't that sound accountable? Or why are you single? I just don't know how to choose the right man, or I haven't found the right man yet, or whatever. It can be any fucking thing. It's about ownership, but at the same time, if it's not really your fault, you can't. I don't even want to say fault. If it really is some things that are not in your control, you have to just be able to say it's not something that is not in my control either. But you got to know what you are in control of. And again, that's why once you've learned to be accountable, it teaches you what you are in control of. Once you see how much you are in control of, you can begin to take control of your destiny. You can begin to manifest something different in your life. This is the work that we talk about. I'm trying to simplify it in a way that everybody can get it. It's just about accountability. Everything is about accountability. Accountability is the highest form of love because, again, it gives you control. You see, when you know how to be deeply accountable, you see the ways in which your actions, your mindsets, your belief systems, you see how it shaped your life right now in the present, how you have been controlling your destiny the entire time. And once you break free of that, you see it. Once you become clear in your mind's eye, right? That third eye becomes more aware of how powerful your presence is, how powerful your mouth, the things that come out your mouth, how powerful your decisions are. Once you start to see that, you can control most of everything around you. You can control your destiny. Again, up to 80, I say about 80 to 90%, you can control it. Some of y'all are controlling 20% of your destiny because you giving the other 80%, like I said earlier in the video, back to your past. Because because you haven't even cleared out that debt, that karmic debt. You haven't cleared out the accountability that you had to take and assign to other people or assign to different situations, however it goes. You haven't cleared 80%. So you only can control 20% of your destiny. And you can't even see that you can control much more. You giving it away. Excuse me, I'm sorry. It's really deep when you think about it. It's so deep. It's so deep. It is so deep. Like I said, this is the work. This is the work that I do. I want to teach people how to take accountability. Because I think that's the main thing that people don't do. People are always wanting to be perpetual victims. That means assigning accountability to other people, but not seeing their own accountability. And that means that they are just continually giving their power over to other people and blaming these people for what's wrong with their life. No, you can't do that. That's not how it works in life. Sorry, nobody taught us. I'm here to do that. You have a lot more control over your destiny. There is nothing that is written in pen. It's all written in the sand, meaning it could be dusted and rewritten. You have a pen in your hand. You are a co-creator. God is doing most of the work, but you are doing a lot more than you think. And a lot of y'all, some people ain't gonna like what I'm about to say. And I'm gonna say, let me preface with this. I'm somebody who I said in the beginning of this video, I let God use me. But I don't give all my power over to God because let me know how much power I have that I can use for myself. If anything, I don't give my power over to God. I get power from God. You feel me? I'm gonna want to speak in tongues that my heart just did something. Let me say that one more time for y'all folks in the back. I'm not one of those people that give all my power over to God. I get my power from God. That's where we're different. Because y'all, again, are giving all your power over to God. Yes, you can surrender to the will of the universe, but that still means that you got to know how much control you have of that will you have. That means, hey God, look, I want you to know I want to do this, I want to do that, I want to do that. What do I need to do? What do I need to do to make sure I'm worthy, to make sure I can get that? God gonna tell you. Or God gonna start taking shit away from you, and you gotta learn how to listen to God. You gotta know when God is talking to you and how God talks to you. Sometimes you gonna hear a clear voice. Sometimes it's gonna be signs and riddles and bullshit. Yeah, I call it bullshit because I be mad sometimes. Because it take me a little minute to get the goddamn riddle. I be wanting to get it sooner, you know? But you can surrender to God and still get power from God through that surrender. It's crazy, I know. And it's like, okay, well, now I have surrendered. Let me just go do the work. And once you do the work, it just fall together, especially when you don't really care much about the outcome because you trust that the outcome is just gonna be whatever it is. Hopefully it's good, but even if it's not, you still gonna be okay because God makes a what? A way. Does. Right? And I know sometimes my content throws people off because I talk about God a lot, but people be like, "Well, you're not religious." That what that mean? I've been knowing God for a very long time, since I was 10 years old. We been tight. I lost my way and I come back all the time. I've been back for a while now though, and it's deeper and deeper now. The voices, the riddles, all of those things, I hear them. I very much so surrender. I don't care. I don't care what happens. I'm just doing the work. Even me just doing these videos, I don't get that many views. I'm not super duper popping. You know what I'm saying? My socials go grow, but they grow slowly. I don't care because I feel like I am still doing the work. So I'm manifesting still right before everybody's eyes, even my own. And in the grand scheme of things, right? When you think about how much life you got left, do you feel like you got enough time to do everything that God has told you you could do? If you've seen it, if you ever had the vision of what you know you want your life to be, because God showed you who you are before you become who you are. I said this last week and I said I was going to say it. I'm glad it came back to me. God will show you who you are before you become who you are. So the thing is, you got to work to get there. Do you feel like you got enough time to get there? Or do you feel like you wasting your time? Even if you say, I don't know where to start, nigga, just start. There you go. This is your sign. Anyway, I love you guys. If you got this far again, please make sure you subscribe, drop a comment. I need some love on my page. I've been growing. I have been growing. I noticed it's very slow, like I said, but I'm growing. And I've been consistent, as consistent as I can be. And I'm hoping by the time my book come out in February, I hope I have at least double the subscribers I have now. That's all I'm asking for, double. And sometimes I ask for that and then I get so surprised. I did this with TikTok and now I'm at nearly 3,600 on TikTok. So we'll see how God blesses me. I let him use me tonight. Let her use me tonight. I let them use me. Yay. Okay, good night.